Hi, everybody. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
I'm, I'm so excited that we are doing this. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while. And I really commend you that you agreed to be my guinea pig. And we're the first one to respond, so I'm very excited to do this with you. For those of you listening, I want to just, before we start, I want to tell you what you're here for. What you're here for is we're going to hear a little bit about Lisa and who she is and why she's doing birth work and where she's at with that and what she's struggling with specifically. But mainly, this is your follow-up. We're about to get an interruption. Um, this is a follow-up training video to the Who Needs You Most worksheet. Wow, I am impressed. You opened the door handle. That's the first time. Come say hello. This is Ravane Mayer. Say hi. Say hi to Lisa.
Hello.
Okay, you need to go to Odelia and tell her to change your diaper. And then you can come back and visit me again, okay? Go to Odelia. Okay. Okay, bye. Say bye, Lisa. Okay, bye. Okay, this is the follow-up training video to the Who Needs You Most worksheet that you should have. And if you don't have it, because I am going to be streaming this into our general group, and some of you have not gotten that yet, so I'm going to give you a minute to go get it. I'm going to say, like, pause this video, go sign up, go to the website. And you're not going to see it, so I'll let's see, maybe I can do this. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to this website right here, birthyour.biz/who needs you most. This is not clickable, sorry guys, but you are very smart people and you can go and put this in your browser, birthyour.biz, not birthyourbiz.com, birthyour.biz/who needs you most. Okay, that's with the little dashes in between each word, who needs you most. And you'll see this page here. And what all you do is you go to this little form here, you put in your name, your email address, you click yes please, and you will get it will take you directly to the page with the worksheet. And that page also has a little video training guide for you to help you fill that out. But what I want you to do right now is I want you to just pause that video, download the sheet and open it so that you can fill it out as we go, or open it up and or print it out, or open it up and have a notebook with you. But you are going to fill this out as we go. You are going to have some kind of paper and pencil, or a window, a reply window to me open. If you're opening it in your email, or you can just have an email open to ayelet@birthyour.biz open, so that as you go, you can ask me questions about the about anything that is troubling you, anything that is unclear, anything that you're having difficulty with, so that I can help you. I am here to help you. Okay, great. So Lisa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, for business purposes, I actually go by Elizabeth Vanderwilt because I'm actually the third Elizabeth in my family.
Oh, wow.
So with my grandmother lives with us as well. So to call all of us Elizabeth, you would get very confused quickly. So at birth, my mother was like, we're just calling her Lisa. It's easier. But now with clients and everything and Facebook, everyone calls me differently and people are so confused. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to decide eventually
Okay.
if I should just switch all over to Elizabeth. But I started my doula journey back in 2018, and I believe right after I started, I actually met you. We actually talked on the phone right away in the beginning.
I remember that.
I was looking for as much information as I could because I was actually very worried because I was only 18 when I started, and it was kind of everyone around me was always older, had children, and I was like feeling like a very odd bird out, to say the least. So in the past year, I've served one family for birth already and two for postpartum,
Mm.
and it was incredible. I loved it. And I'm just, this year, I'm getting a few more. I've got one at the end of the month, so I'm on call waiting for
Yay.
little baby to make its arrival. So I was pretty happy that we got this scheduled in the beginning of the month, so I didn't have to worry about the
Yeah.
phone ringing midway. But other than that, I've just been slowly starting at it. I really didn't know exactly who I wanted to serve in the beginning, and now I'm kind of trying to narrow it down more. So the worksheet, I had worked on it a bit in the beginning, and then I kind of deleted everything and started fresh when we were planning this. So I was like, I'm just starting anew.
Sure,
So
sure. And that's okay, right? We evolve. I mean, the beautiful thing about this PDF is that, you can download it now. You can, if you can print it out, or even like fill in the answers, save it as with the date, and then go back and fill it in again and save it with that date. And you know what? In a couple of years, you go back and you read, like, over the course of the years, you've gone and done this sheet again and again. And obviously, I'm sure that I'll come out with newer and better things that are, updated or whatever. But this is a really basic and great worksheet to help you focus. And like when things feel a little bit, when you're feeling a little like stuck, you can always go back to this sheet. This is a great like restart point as well. So you went and did that. So that's awesome, because we evolve, and who we serve evolves, and who you're serving today is not going to be the people who you're serving in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. And really, like, for you, Lisa, and for everybody listening, I just want to say it's so important that you know that the tools that I want to give you are so that you can be still doing this work or some version of this work in 5, 10, 15 years from now. I don't want this to be, you came to this for a reason, and maybe you came to it for a season, and that's okay, but for those of you who this is your life's work and this is what you imagine yourself doing, and you're struggling to get clients and you're wondering, how am I going to stick with this? That's what I want for you. I want you to be able to serve some people today, and then like be there for their children's births. Okay. That's what I want for you. So if that's what you want, obviously, but I want you to have staying power, and especially in the doula field, something about, I don't know what it is. I've been trying to figure it out, but something about our field and the training and something, we have a really quick drop-off rate, like between, I think, up to like 3 years, 80% of training doulas who got a training stop being a doula. And that's sad, because there are people who need you. So, okay, good. So I'm so glad that you're using the sheet, and that we're back in here, and we're gonna go through it and clarify it and make you a plan. Awesome. So tell me, what is, I apologize for the banging. It's kind
no
of
problem.
witching hour over here. We'll see what we can edit out and what we can't. So tell me a little bit about, like, what was it that inspired you to do birth work? We're going back about a year or so. You're 18. You don't have children of your own yet. What was the inspiration?
Well, when I was 11 years old, I hit female puberty. And that's when I started doing a lot of research into everything. And that's when I learned all about pregnancy. And obsessed is like a minimum word for how I became involved with it. And I always thought that maybe one day I might become a midwife, and that was like always on my back burner. But my biology, I wasn't that great at it. So I was like, I don't know if that would be a big kind of deal for me. So I kind of let that just wait until I was like, oh, I'm just going to get married, have kids. And that's kind of what my aim for birth stuff will be. But then a friend at the time, she ended up saying, oh, I'm a doula and you still get to help people. And so she kind of explained it to me, and I was like, well, I'm younger. Do you have to wait to be older? And she's like, no, the minimum requirement is 18. So I was turning 18 in July, and I was like, well. So I guess I just kind of took a leap of faith and I dropped out of university because I was training to do business and it wasn't working so good, but I was like, I'll struggle along. And then I heard about this and I was like, I'm just going to take a leap of faith and fly in a whole different direction. So
Amazing.
now I'm kind of here.
Amazing. Amazing. So tell me two things now. One is what is it like if there's what is one thing that you're struggling with, and I'll ask it in a different way. And I want everyone who's listening, I want you to answer this question as well right now. What is one thing that you are struggling with, or what is one thing that if you could solve this one thing, this one problem, or this one issue, you would have the doula business of your dreams?
Well, for me, it's trying to reach people right now. The lady that like I said, I was friends with, she ended up trying to start a collective. So all the doulas in the area work for her. So
Mhm.
a lot of times I end up having like a meeting with someone and then they went over with them. So my biggest is trying to reach them and keep them at the same time. So that's kind of where I'm at with it personally, that I'm having a bit of difficulty with.
Okay. So I'm going to clarify that. Okay. And what I want you guys to do, actually, if you could, if you're watching this on Facebook, put your answer, what I'm struggling with is, and put it in the comments. I will come in and I will answer those questions. I will comment with you and connect with you on them. So please do. If you're, I don't know what other platforms we're going to be watching this on. Oh, if you're getting this in email because you signed up for the worksheet, then press reply and have an email to me open and answer all these questions in the email that we're going to go through, or any questions that come up for you as we're going through. Put them all in that email, so have that open, and then send it to me at the end. I will respond. Those of you who have interacted with me on email, on Facebook, on all those things, I get in there and I answer questions. So please do that, because I'm here for you. So okay, so I want to clarify. So you said getting your name out there, but also keep like connecting with them and then keeping them, like taking them through to now we've met and we've communicated, and then please hire me. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that's communicating your value. Okay. That's when we talk about like the module, right? When we're going through when I do like my private coaching, that's the module that's under, is communicating value. Because once somebody understands your value to them specifically, not in general, oh, I provide support, emotional support, that's general. Anybody, all doulas are doing that. But why you specifically are of specific value, unique value to them, then there is nothing that's going to make them want somebody else. Okay? It doesn't matter if they're cheaper, more experienced, blah, blah, blah. You've made that connection where you made it clear that you are the doula that can serve them best. And when it's everything that I'm teaching you guys is simple. That doesn't mean it's easy, but it is simple. It's stuff you actually already know. Okay. And I'm just going to bring it out for you and make it clear for you so that you can go ahead and do this. It's so simple. Okay. And once you know how to do that, so we'll touch on that a little bit at the end for you, but but that's what it is. It's communicating value. So great. Excellent. So, okay. So that's your biggest struggle. And the other thing that I want to ask you is, what is your goal in your birth business in the next 3 months? What would you like to change or have that would, if you were to look back, so we're in January, February, March, April, you look back, springtime is starting, and you're saying, okay, since my conversation with Ayelet, the following has happened and I feel successful.
For me, I'm really at the base of trying to certify right now. That's where I'm kind of at, where I really want to get that done. I have until December at the end of the year. So that's what I would love to get done, actually.
Okay. Okay, great. So you want to finish your certification. If you finish your
Yeah.
certification by April, you will be happy. You will feel
Yeah.
successful. Okay, great. And what about in terms of, so that's like a technical thing. What about in terms of like serving your clients or attending births or like,
I don't know. I haven't really like thought about that much. I've been really putting on the focus of trying to certify. So I haven't really like looked, oh, like this is what I need to get done also at the same time. So
okay. Okay,
another
cool.
like goal to find the goal.
Goal to find the goal. Great. So let's start and then we'll figure that out. Okay, awesome. So we're going to jump into the sheet now, and you have a notebook, and everybody watching should have a notebook or have the page printed out or have it open in your PDF, editor, so that you can be filling things out along with us. And again, any questions that you have, put them in the Facebook chat, put them in your open email, put them in messenger chat to me, whatever. I'm available. I want to be here to help you. So let's get into this right now. And I'm telling you that without a doubt, whatever you're going through, whatever you're struggling with, you're not the only one. And that's why I feel like this is going to be valuable, even though this is one person's story, Lisa's story, but I know that you are going to find value in this as well. Okay, so just real quick, and this is on the video training for how to fill out the thing, but the point here is, first of all, I apologize that I left in all this language about the fast action guide. I'm not launching that right now, but
I have to admit, I downloaded this when you first posted about it, and I haven't got any new one.
you did. That's okay. That's all right.
No, if you had changed it, I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't have known. Well, no, I did. I didn't change it. I didn't. So you're okay. Okay. So number one is you want to think of a real person. So why are we doing this? Let's just back up. Why are we doing this? Why is it important to know who needs you most? And the reason for that is that we doulas and birth professionals, we're empaths. We are healers. We want to help everybody. And it feels really icky to say, I work with these specific kinds of people, right? It doesn't feel good. And so, so when you're, let's say, have an opportunity to be at a networking event, or you have an opportunity to, I don't know if, let me just say something. Okay. If you have an opportunity to be at a networking event or at an expo, or you just encounter somebody who asks you, what you do, the more general you are, okay, about your answer, like I support women or birthing people to have babies, and have the emotional and whatever the line is, right? The emotional, physical, and educational support for their birth. That's the more you're going to get the reaction like, oh, that's nice, or like, oh, I know someone who's a doula, or something like that, right? And then the conversation's over. There's nowhere to go with that.
Midwife and a doula.
What's the difference between a midwife and a doula? So if they already ask you a question, that's gold, okay? And that's networking 101, okay? So that's that other module of networking, and how to engage and not educate, how to engage and continue the conversation. And so that we'll touch on it a little bit, and the idea of filling this out is that on a basic level, even without the actual skills that I can teach you in a networking 101 module, but you will have some basis to know how to have those conversations, because you're going to know exactly who you're talking to. Okay, so it really, 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 really brings this down to it's not that you're excluding people when you get clear about who you're put on this earth to serve. It's that you're so clear in your language about who you can help, about the people, their struggles, their hopes and dreams, right? The outcomes that they are hoping for in their birth. You're so clear about what you can provide that every person that can be helped by you is going to be attracted to your message. And it's not just going to be like, let's say at the end of this, we come up with a person, and I saw that you had written someone named Brittany. So, let's say at the end of this, I didn't read the rest of it yet. We're not going to go into that yet. Let's say Brittany, okay, is a first-time mom who is, scared to death of birth and wants and heard that the only way to have a baby is with an epidural, but she's afraid of medical interventions. Okay, and so if you are clear that that's the person that you serve the best, like you can help them overcome that fear and make a good decision, not necessarily have a natural birth or have a natural birth or whatever that is. And you think like, but if I say that, then I'm only going to be, working with first-time moms, and I don't want to only work with first-time moms. That's not true. When you get clear in your message, it's not that you're niching down, okay? It's that your message is so clear that it speaks directly to the hearts of every person who needs you. So my example for me is my message is about, people who have, I help people who are, we just had like major lightning, so I got a little bit thrown off. People who have either, had a negative experience around birth previously, or who are having a complicated pregnancy and are looking for a lot of care in their prenatal care and their birth care from their doula. I'm very available, and I help you every step of the way, and I'm with you, very hands-on for your birth. Now, you would think that I'm only getting second, third time mothers who've had a birth trauma in the past, and and who are afraid of birth, and that would be very limiting, right? But that's the exact opposite is true. Yes, I do have clients who had a negative experience and want something different this time and need to go through a processing, experience because they haven't yet, and they don't want to carry that into their birth. And I have people who are having a complicated pregnancy and need somebody with, 12 years experience who's been in the field for a long time, who whatever. And yes, I have those. But because my message is so clear, because I talk about birth processing, because I talk about, my experience, because I talk about not wanting, about the way that I talk about it, and it's the same for all of us, but the way that I talk about it attracts the exact people who need me. So I have first-time moms, I have very, uncomplicated pregnancies, but who want a lot of care, like meaning it's across the board. I have young moms, I have older moms, I have, all across the board. So I'm not pigeonholing myself. But I'm so clear in my messaging, because every single one of them who's come to me, they didn't just like find me out of nowhere. They said, I saw when you said da, 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 and that really spoke to me. And that's what I want for you. Everything you say should speak to their heart. Or rather, something that you say should speak directly to their heart. Because everybody is saying, I'm a doula and I provide educational and emotional and physical support. I'm a doula or I'm a postpartum doula and I help you, get your family to your life after birth, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's saying that. But when you get really clear about who you serve and who you are, then what you put out there is going to speak directly to the hearts of the people who need you. And you're not pigeonholing yourself. So I'm like kind of driving that home, okay? Awesome. So why do you want to think of a real person? Because my whole purpose in this is to allow you to step out of this like fear of marketing yourself, because we doulas and birth professionals, we are not marketers. Even if you've studied marketing, and I've worked with clients who came from a business background. You said you went to you were majoring in business. I've had that, where they've come from a business background, and yet once they try to apply it to birth, it's like, whoa, this is totally different. This is not, I can't, these are two different parts of my life. I'm not, I can't do that here. And I want to take you out of that, like, kind of fearful, inauthentic sort of like, I don't know how to make that work of marketing and sales, and move you into, this is just a conversation. This is opening your heart to the people who need you most, and allowing them in, and inviting them into a conversation. So I want it to be so easy for you to talk to the people who need you as if you're talking to your best friend. And you can't feel like you're talking to your best friend unless you know them as well as you know your best friend. So that's what this is about, okay? Your ideal client BFF. They call it an ideal client avatar or whatever. I call it your BFF. So here we go. Think of a real person. And I've gone over how to do this, and it's very self-explanatory. And Lisa's person is Brittany, okay? It's somebody who she wants to work with. It's somebody who makes you feel excited about what you can offer them. Is this somebody who was a previous client of yours? Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah,
fantastic.
This was my first client. She was the best.
Great, amazing.
I told her she was my VIP mama. That's what I called her.
Nice. Awesome. So, okay, so Brittany is Lisa's, and I want you to have a name on there, okay? And if you can't think of anybody, if you have not attended a birth or supported a family yet, if you you can think about somebody who you would like to serve. Like, you have that one relative or friend or neighbor who, like, is currently pregnant or something, and every time you get into a conversation with her, you're like, oh, I wish I could go to her birth, and that it could be that person. It could be, a family member, or it could be yourself. Okay. So if you can't think of a client for whatever reason, someone that you have actually served, it could be yourself based on the reason that you came to this work, right? It could be, because I had a negative experience and I want to help people have a different experience than what I had. Or, one second. Oh boy. I had a really amazing experience, and I want other people to have an experience like that. Or in your case, Lisa, it was, I was so inspired by the concept of birth, and by, and so I would love to support somebody like myself, right? So it could be yourself, but then you have to be brutally honest about yourself. Okay. So it's good that you have somebody that you've served. It makes it easier. But again, you can do this as if it's, if you can also fill this out if you've never served a family before. Okay.
Well, I think I kind of mixed the two, like her and what I kind of want.
That's fine. That's fine. But the more you can focus on who she is specifically, but that's fine. That's okay. All right. So why do you want to work with this person? What did you love about it? What were they looking for when they came to you? Okay. Or what are they looking for now? If it's somebody that you would like to work with, like, what is it that they're looking for that you can answer, that you can provide? Right? What is it about them that lets you know that you specifically can help them? And what were you able to help them with throughout your experience with them? And this is also a place where we have to be brutally honest, because I think as doulas, one of our tendencies is to not take credit for the stuff we did in the birth. So this is where you get to really get clear about the things you did that affected the outcome. Even though when you're talking to your client, you're like, oh no, you are amazing, you could have done it without me, blah blah blah. Like, I know we have that tendency to say that, but and to want to give our clients that strength to, like, I was just here to to help and in the background, but you do need to be clear about what you bring to the table and what you've helped them with. Okay. Great. So they were very supportive of my business, wanted to work with me. That's always nice. Excited to learn all you could teach her. So you have an educator's heart. You want to give over a lot of information.
There was a part where I wanted to just teach, be a teacher.
Okay, great. So you are bringing a teacher's heart, right? And attitude and information and a way of giving over information that's in a teaching way. And not everybody who comes to doula work is like that. So that's something unique. And this is somebody, the person that you specifically want to connect with is someone who is like thirsty for all that knowledge. And there are people out there, there are moms, there are birthing people who they're not thirsty for knowledge. They like, they're
see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Like, they don't want all the information, right? They want your support. You're there to answer the questions that they have. And, and that would be very frustrating for you, right? They're like, stop, I can't handle this, right? Like, I don't want to hear this. That would be frustrating. So knowing that you come with a teacher's heart, and there are those of you who are listening now that are saying like, yeah, I'm not actually, I don't really like the teaching part so much, well, then that you're not looking for people who are like, give me everything, like tell me everything right now before I go into, and you don't want those people. You want to be working with somebody. And when you go through this and you're thinking of the person, that's your ideal client, right? They will most likely be somebody who is a little bit more, let's say, I'll use the term cut and dry or whatever, but like a little bit more like, just let's go with the flow. So that's how we're unique, right? So if you talk about being able to give a prenatal class, or you talk about like the information that you can give them, that's something that's going to attract the people who are thirsty for information, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So they didn't know what a doula was, and I loved the idea of helping. I thought she was amazing because she would ask about different questions about the baby. Great. Loved knowing different positions for labor. So really was looking for a lot of support and information, and you were able to give her that. So that's kind of what's coming out here as a theme, is the educational part. So that's great. And she couldn't picture the birth without me. That's awesome. Okay, beautiful. So, okay, so now is the demographic part. And this is where, again, this is for your eyes only, or for your and my eyes, if I'm helping you, if you do get on a private call with me and we do some private coaching. So don't worry about, and I know we're looking at Lisa's, so this is a little bit more public, but don't worry about being politically correct. That's not the place here. The place here is to be brutally honest with yourself about what you're attracted to and who is attracted to you in the professional realm. And the more you know about who they are and where they exist in their lives, okay, the easier it's going to be for you to find them and connect with them. So, and also what might come out of this is that there's a big disparity between the demographic of the person you're trying to reach and yourself. And if that's the case, then there might be a bridge that you need to kind of create that allows you to serve, the people in that demographic. So please, do this, do it honestly. Don't be politically correct. Okay. It's not going up on, social media, and nobody's going to argue with you. This is the place to be clear. So plus size, and that's something that you're connected with, because that's something that you experience, and it is an important community to serve, because they are being told things that are totally not evidence-based. They're being, their care is biased, and they need a doula who understands their experience, who's gone through that, who's heard all the stuff, and who can help them process that information. So that's a really important, right, piece.
Yeah. When I see my OBGYN, first thing she tells me, if you ever think of having a baby, you need to drop 100 pounds at least. You know what I mean? Yep. That's why in the beginning I didn't have that as a category, but in another training I took too, the woman was like, if that's something you can personally experience like firsthand, you should be able to help those clients the best. So that's why I
That's
was like,
right.
I'm going to start focusing more on that as part of it.
That's right.
So
And that's one of the reasons that I want you to do this question and do this exercise, because if you're really honest with yourself about it, then you'll be able to bring out those things that, I'm speaking to all of you now, like you're an African American and Black woman, and you want to help, in the Black or colored people of color community. Go out there and help them, because they need you, and they need somebody that they know has been there, done that, and has the information and the support that can help them and support them and give them the advocacy that they need. If you're I don't even know all the letters, but the LGBTQ community, and you want to, and those are the people who you want to reach, because they need you. They need you, a person who understands where they're coming from, a person who speaks their language. I have a dear, someone who I consider a friend and colleague, who is in that community, and she identifies as female, but she is part of that community and understands specifically how the language is so important, to feeling seen and heard and understood. And so if that's your community, meaning the community that you want to serve, the skills that you come with, the experience that you come with, then allow yourself to embrace that and go out and serve that community. So great, excellent. Young mothers, 18 to 30, good. Okay, they like natural products and like to cook. Excellent. Great. Okay. Mixed families, unplanned but excited, wanting to breastfeed, thrift store shopping. Good. So some of these things, the parts about, let me say it like this. Any one of these categories can give you a vast amount of information about what your next step is. Okay. Plus size women, where are they shopping? Right? You don't have to give me a list, but where they're shopping, what kind of magazines or websites, their blogs they're reading, right? You probably know what kind of podcasts they're listening to, right? Because that gives you information. And if you don't know, okay, if you wrote a demographic that you're attracted to or connected to in some way, but you're not, let's say, in it, or you don't know the answer to that, what are they reading, where are they going, what are they, what are they already buying or whatever, then you can do a Google search, right? It's so easy. Once you have the information there, you can put keywords in, plus size, podcasts, right? Podcasts for, whatever. And what they're listening to, what the information they're consuming, and that helps the language that they're speaking. And it helps where to find them. It helps what blog to ask to be a guest poster on. It helps what groups on Facebook to, or LinkedIn or wherever to connect with. This is what kinds of images you're going to put up on your Instagram. Like, that's what this is about. So any of these things, any one of the things on your list, on Lisa's list or your list, is going to give you that information. So that's going to come in a later question. Great. What are some worried about body image, support against doctors who are against plus size women? Yep, we talked about that. Worried about breastfeeding. Okay, nutrition for pregnancy. Great. Okay, so, and these are questions that, right, and like I said, not what you think it is, but what they, in their language and in their mind, are struggling with. Because, for example, you might think that, let me give you a different example. Sometimes when I work with first-time moms, and they are, they have no clue, right? And you go into the, and so they might not be worried about, if you were to say to them, like, I'm gonna help you. Oh, I'm getting distracted now. All right, an example will come to me as we go, but the important thing is to look at it from their perspective and not from ours, because the keywords that they're searching for that are going to bring them to you, that need to bring them to you, are not necessarily the keywords that you think you do. It's the things that they are looking for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you see the distinction? Great. Okay, and if that doesn't make sense to you and you're listening to this, that's something to write in the email. I don't understand what you're talking about with that, distinction of what they think it is. Great. So what are the top 5 questions that they're asking themselves? So again, these are just more things to get in there and analyze and go deeper into all of these things: how to keep up their milk supply, what to eat for a healthy pregnancy, what to say against the doctors who push for C-section. Great. So information, evidence-based information for, for plus size pregnancy. Your doctor said you can't have a vaginal birth because of your weight. Is it true? Right? Like, okay.
A list of blog post ideas for the future.
Yeah. Okay. That's the point. That's the point of this sheet, is to help you start to think of topics, whether it's on Facebook posts, whether it's when somebody asks a question, you're now like hyper focused on the language that they're using and the questions that they're asking, and you can jump in there and talk to them and answer their questions. And that's a different topic, and I hope that all of you have gone and downloaded your social media secrets ebook, and if you haven't, go do that. That's very, very important. So what are their
This is
hopes
where I
and
started to get confused, just so you know. So I was kind of like, I don't know what I'm just going to kind of leave it empty.
Great, that's fine. That's fine. So, and by the way, the way that I'm the kind of person that I get distracted very easily, as you probably noticed, I don't like. I have a hard time finishing things also. So the way that I structure my worksheets is that you don't have to finish it. The more you do, the better. If you need to skip a question because it doesn't make sense, then first of all, ask me. And second of all, go to the next question. Like, you're not missing anything. Okay. So that's the way that I structure my stuff, because that's how I think. So if that's helpful to you, great. Okay. So what are their hopes and desires? That they can learn how to have a healthy pregnancy and to successfully breastfeed. So I want you to go deeper into this. Okay. We're not going to do it now because I really want to go to the next step, but I want you to take this question. I want you to go deeper. What does that mean? What you're doing is you're taking what you've already done, and this is what you need to do, what you've already done, and I want you to think about it in this way, but go really deep, get really specific. And again, I think I wrote this earlier on this sheet. If you don't know, reach out to Brittany and ask her. Say, I'm doing some market research. I'm doing some research to help me, help more mothers. Do you have a few minutes to talk to me, right? And ask these questions. What were your hopes and desires, around giving birth, around having a baby? What did you want? What did you really want? Okay. What were the most important things to you? And then that goes into this next question as well. What are the top 5 outcomes? But this is more specific, right? Outcomes. I want to have an unmedicated birth. And by the way, we say unmedicated, but most of them say, birthing community people are going to say natural or not, right? Or like, I want an epidural, or, that's an example of language that we have, like our professional jargon that they might not be saying. So if you say physiological birth and you don't bring in the, natural birth is a phrase that means something to them, and physiological birth doesn't necessarily mean anything. Even though we want to educate people about that, that's not necessarily attractive to them. It's not a keyword that they're putting into their to Google at 2:00 in the morning when they're stressing out about not having support for their birth. Okay. And by the way, you might be somebody who only wants to serve people and work with people who are already at that level of they're looking for somebody who can communicate with them on that level. They don't want somebody who's talking about natural birth. They want people, they already did all that research. They've already read all the books, and they're looking for physiological birth, right? So then you are going to use that language because that's who they're looking for. Okay. So be clear. This is where it comes down to. Be clear about who you want to serve. Great. What are the top 5 outcomes that they want? So, and again, this is in their own language and no judgment, right? Doesn't mean that that's what they're going to get, but it's what they want. I want a natural birth, or I want an unmedicated birth. I want to avail myself of all of the technology available. I want to, these are like, I want, I don't want to tear. I just want a happy and healthy baby. These are outcomes that they're saying, right? And I'm just giving you kind of platitudes here and sort of, general ones, but hearing them in the words that I had one client who, I don't care what the circumstances are. I just want to feel like I made the decisions. Right? I want to, I'm trying to think, like, I want to be able to be in any position I want for the birth. I want to, okay. So those are the kinds of things that I'm looking for here, and in their own words. Great. Okay. So now that you have all of this information, right? Now we can go to the next step, which is, who do you know who fits this description? So this is part of what, so the first question goes back to either you can, if there are people who come to mind, right? Then write them down. But if you're thinking about, now that you have like that demographic, the places where they're going, the things that they're doing already, right? Then you don't need a specific person anymore. You now can think of a group. Okay. You can now think of, kind of, topics that people are, coming together about. Dana Malstaff, who runs the Boss Mom website, she's amazing. She's a mentor of mine, and she talks about like, before you start your own tribe, become micro famous in other places. Like, get your name, known for the thing that you do in other groups. And that's that. I talk about that in my social media secrets ebook, which I will give you the link to soon. But it's in my group. It's in the Facebook group, and I don't know if it's on the website at the moment, but I will make sure to put it up there. So it's also on my Instagram. Yeah, I will find it. I will find it and I will put it up. So, okay. So who else do you know? What kind of groups can you connect with now, right? Natural mamas. And again, I'm using that because that seems like where Brittany is at. So but you might be working with somebody who is more mainstream, or who is looking for something different. But now you know what the keywords are to search, what the groups to look for on Facebook. You know whether they're likely to be on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, right? Because like I work, not me personally, but like if your person is is a career professional, right? Or an entrepreneur, like I serve entrepreneur birthing people, like you could be that specific, then you know where to find them. Maybe they're probably on LinkedIn more than they're on Facebook or Instagram, right? I serve the 18 to 30, so then you want to be on Snapchat, not on, right? Like they're probably on those newer ones, which I don't even know all of them because I'm an old lady. But that's going to give you information. So that's why that's so information. So the next question is, who else has access to my person that I can partner with or joint venture with or collaborate with? So that's where, now that you know that you're clearly, we'll use the plus size example because it's so great and it's so important. You could go to your local stores that have a good selection of plus size clothing, maternity clothes for plus size women, where and align yourself with them. Talk to them, talk to the store owners, ask them, can I mean, obviously, like, some of the big name brands might not be open to this necessarily, but if there are like smaller stores in your area or online stores, that you can collaborate with. Hey, I'm serving women who are who are plus size, who are shopping in your stores, and I help them with their births, and or I help them postpartum, and I would love to be able to offer something to your customers.
Yeah.
Because if you go to, right, like Forever 21, you're not going to find your people. But if you, right, so that's that, but you know where to go, and you know who to align yourself with. Again, there are probably, and even within that, you might be a plus size person who's very focused, you might be looking to work with people who are really focused on losing weight. So then you would want to align yourself with the weight loss world. You might be a plus size person who wants to help people, or who aligns with body positivity and beauty at any size. And right, so then you're not going to go to the weight loss places and those podcasts and blogs, because your people are not on there, right? But if you go to the intuitive eating sites and the body positivity places, and look for the podcasts and the blogs and the groups and the companies that are serving the people who are looking for for people who they're aligned with, for people who are not going to tell them lose weight, but rather you're beautiful just the way you are, and health and weight loss are two completely, by the way, I have a podcast episode on this, on how weight loss as a goal is the same thing as measuring dilation in birth. So that's coming out soon. Yeah, I have a great analogy for it. It's like, but that's right. So who to, and when that comes out, you'll share that with your people, because that's going to be something that's going to be relevant to them, and then that's a resource that you've brought to them that's like, wow, that really speaks to me, and Lisa knows, or Elizabeth knows what I need. So okay, so that's what that question means. Where is my, and again, and this goes to the same thing, so this is just really going deeper, and that's why I said my worksheets are created so that you can, if you go really deep in one question and you realize you don't need to answer the next question because you already did that, that's okay, skip it. Okay, but I want you to come up with that list, so that when you're overwhelmed and you realize that you haven't put out a post or had a client or whatever in a really long time, you go back to this list and you say, where do I go right now? I know who I can go to. I know what I can say. I know what I can do. I know what post I can put up, because you have it all written down. And even though we've forgotten it because we get overwhelmed, or if we started with something and it was going great and then it stopped being great, that's why you have this list. Okay? Awesome. So we've talked about a lot of things, and if I left you with this, you could take all that information and make it into a plan, but that's not what I want to do. I want to actually make a plan for you. Okay, so we're going to stop the share now. And we're going to talk, I want you to take out a piece of paper, and we're going to talk about, now that we have this information and we've got this wealth of information, of items, of, pieces, right? How do we bring it all together and take the next 3 steps? Okay.
Yep.
And I'm all about the next 3 steps, because I feel like once you've taken 3 steps, you can take the next 3 steps. So 3 is like my magic number. So trimesters, right? So we're going to talk about your next 3 steps, and based on this information. So I know that your main focus is getting certified,
Yep.
finishing that. However, in the meantime, you're not, you have the ability to continue to grow your community. So even if you are not, or grow your authority as, in your field. And you said that your main struggle was connecting with people and sort of keeping them in your sphere, and this is going to help you. Okay. Again, you want to open up a conversation and invite them to be part of what you're doing. Okay.
Okay.
And then they if they want to be part of it, then they're not going anywhere. They're not going someplace else. They're staying with you. And also, you'll be able to identify now if this person is, your ideal client, right? Or
Yep.
if it's okay that they're going to the collective because they're not your person, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, awesome. So I want this to be realistic for you. And so if you're listening and you filled out the sheet and you have this list, I want you to be realistic with yourself. What is one thing that you feel, one area that you feel like you can move into? So is it becoming more active on social media? Is it going to, be like collaborating with other businesses, whether it's online or offline? Is it doing some educational events? Which of those 3 things realistically do you feel like you can do, like you can step into?
I think it would have to be the collaborating.
Collaborating. Great.
Yeah. I've been trying a lot harder already with the social media. So as another perspective, the collaborating would probably.
Okay. So if you're focusing on collaborating, okay.
Yeah.
Then don't worry about your social media.
Okay.
Okay. It's okay. You can give yourself, 30 minutes a day to be on social media and connect with people and whatever, so that you're not dropping off the face of the planet. But don't worry about creating content for social media right now. Don't worry about what groups to join on social media right now, unless it's specifically connected to the collaboration that you're going to be doing. Okay.
Yeah.
So whichever of the 3 you chose, the other 2 are going to the side, okay? And it's okay, because this is just the next 3 steps. And in the 4th step, right, in the next 3 steps, you can go to the next thing. You can put this aside and go to the next thing, okay? So, collaboration. So the first thing is to write a list of specific, either and just set a timer for 15 minutes and write a list of, brick and mortar places, right? Actual physical shops or businesses, blogs, and online retailers or online, businesses where you will find Brittany's. Okay.
Got it.
And now I feel like I'm quoting from Lucifer because of Brittany's. So sorry.
I haven't seen this show. I won't get the reference.
I'm Look at me, right? Look at me. I love Lucifer. It's my favorite show. Okay. I'm not who you expect me to be. I'll be honest. Okay. So where are you going to find people like Brittany? You're going to find them shopping at these stores or at these online places, and reading these blogs. Okay. And if they're not reading any blogs, are they, what kinds of boards do they have on Pinterest? What kind of, right? Think about like, where are they? Okay. So 15 minutes, free write, a list, as many people, as many places, as many things that you can come up with without doing any research. Okay. And if you're like, oh, what's that store? Write down that store, that, da, da, da. And then you'll look it up later. Okay. Okay, so that's the first step one. Step two is going to be your research. So that you're going to give yourself 10, let's be realistic, let's call it 30 minutes a day for 5 days. For 30 minutes a day for 5 days, you're going to go to that list and you're going to refine it. So you're going to contact the people on the list, okay? As many as you have contact information for. If it's an actual store in your community, especially if it's like a local store, like a mom and pop, go in, introduce yourself, talk to them, ask, when the manager is around, see if they're friendly, talk to them, okay? If it's an online, then just send an email. Just make initial contact. Hi, I'm a doula who serves the people who are reading your blog, shopping in your store, buying on your site. I wanted to introduce myself and connect with you and see how we can work together to help the people who, to help your customers or your readers or whatever. Okay. 30 minutes a day for 5 days. If there's something that you need to refine, if, no's are good, rejections are good. Okay. Because it narrows it down. Because you can't possibly, if in 15 minutes, you're going to come up with a big list. You can't possibly collaborate with all of them. If you can connect positively with 3, that's amazing. Okay. If one is incredible. Okay. So don't worry about rejections. Don't worry about, we don't do that sort of thing. Great. Thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you. Let me know if anything ever changes. Okay. Can't hurt. So that's step 2. And then step 3, okay, is going to be, let's think about this for 1 minute. We're collaborating and you're not sure what people are going to say. Well, step 3 is this. After you've spent your 5 days doing that and not before, actually, no, I'll depends on you. If you feel like you can do this simultaneously, then you can. If not, then do the 5 days of contacting first and then go back and do this. 30 minutes a day of brainstorming ideas for collaboration with the places that you've contacted. Is it a discount coupon? Is it a guest post? So what kind of topics would you write about? Is it a talk in their store? Is it okay? Yeah. And this is where I'm here to help, right? And I want you to get in the group and write to me what's going on. We're going to have to wrap this up real soon. Witching hour is in full swing over here. But one more minute. Okay, so those are your next 3 steps. Okay, and I want you to come back to me and tell me what you're doing and how it's going. But what's going to happen is if you make the list and reach out and you have a whole bunch of ideas of collaboration concepts and ideas of what you can do, then when they get back to you and you find 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 that have, you know, had a positive reaction, and you continue the conversation with them, you already know how you're going to do that. I'm going to give you one bonus step, which is a way to capture the interested people. So meaning, if you're going to do a blog post, if you're going to do a discount coupon, if you're going to do whatever, a way to capture the contact information of the people who are reading your blog post, who are you know, taking your discount coupon from their gift card. I'm big into gift cards and not as opposed to discounts, but we'll talk about that's another module. But okay, you know, a way to capture their information. So if you don't have an email list right now, or you don't have a website, there are plenty of resources. And again, reach out to me and I'll give you some. I'll try to post it like with this video, some resources for if you don't have a website, ways to capture people's contact information. Okay. So whether it's, you know, go to one of the free MailerLite is a free, but I think you need to have a website for that. But Flowdesk, MailChimp, I don't know what, yeah, I mean, MailChimp is getting a little bit not so fun anymore, but it's a place, or a Google form. Okay, like keep it simple, keep it free, make a Google form, go to this, you know, bit.ly/Elizabeth doula and fill out this form so that you can, you know, register for your gift, or, you know, speak to me or whatever it is. Okay, so don't make it too crazy, but come up with a way to capture email addresses and contact information. Okay, awesome. So step 1, make a list. Step 2, reach out 30 minutes a day for 5 days. And step 3 is 30 minutes, 30 minutes is right. Collaboration ideas. Okay. And a way to capture information. Awesome. How do you feel?
Good. I feel good.
Yeah. You feel like you have a path forward. Does it feel doable?
Something to work on.
Okay. Take the steps, do it. And if you're having trouble, if you find yourself that you're stuck, like, I can't make this list, I can't do it, then that's what I'm here for. Okay. I started making the list and I couldn't even come up with one thing. Message me or put it in the group. Okay. Okay. Awesome. All right, Lisa. Okay, everybody.
I'll let you get going.
Yep. I got to go to my crazy children. We will see you all real soon. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye. Looking forward to hearing from you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Great. Bye-bye.